The marathon, 42.2 kilometers of grueling running on pavement. This is my kryptonite as a runner. I've always been a forest and trail runner who, to be honest, have barely been able to run on the hard surfaced road without getting injured. But I wanted to challenge myself to experience a new side of running. So this is the raw, unfiltered story of me training for my first marathon. And let's just say nothing went according to plan. I just dropped off the kids at daycare and I just realized that it's not that long until that marathon I have planned. And this run back and forth to the daycare to drop off the twins is about 3 kilometers, and to be honest, it's been my main training last years, and that is good training to keep yourself in okay shape, but it doesn't make you ready to run a fast or run a sub 3 hour marathon, which is my goal. So I really don't know if it's even possible for me to get myself marathon ready in this short time when it comes to marathon training. So as you can see, I'm not starting this at like the optimal time of the year. Winter is coming here to Norway and it's pretty slippery out there. So I run with these metal studs under my running shoes, but that is still not enough to get really good traction. So I guess I will be spending quite a lot of time on the treadmill back at home. So I'm very lucky to have a treadmill at home the upcoming 2 months. But it's nice to get in some outdoor running as well, because it's much nicer running in the forest than on the trails. But that's another thing I need to change: run less on trails and run more on hard surface. Because you get good at what you train at, and I really need to get my muscles and tendons and everything ready to run pretty fast for a long time on hard surface. So the first thing I really gotta focus on in my training before I start running more on harder surfaces and run more at marathon speed is just to add more volume into my training. Currently I'm running around 30 kilometers each week, and that's simply not enough to get myself ready. So one thing I'll do is just after this runs to the daycare, leave the stroller back home here, and before I start working, just add like 20-30 minutes more running to, in an easy way, get a bit more volume each day, and hopefully that will help me a bit. But the other important thing is that I don't do too much too soon. Then I'll just get injured. So it's a fine balance, especially when I have this little time. 7 kilometers, it's not much, it's not a marathon, but it's more than 3 kilometers, and it's at least a start to some sort of marathon training. So the other thing I really need to focus on now in my marathon training is this thing, strength training, that I've been neglecting so much. And I actually have some small injury problem in my knees, or just some small pain, nothing really serious, but something that for sure will prevent me from running more, which I need to do to get marathon ready. And strength training, building strength, making my tendons and muscles stronger to be able to handle more load is a key to that. It's not the most fun thing in the world, I think, but having a goal motivates me to do things like this that I know is good for me. First week of my marathon preparation training is done, and I'm pretty satisfied with how it has worked out so far. So I've been increased my running just a bit. I've been running 48 kilometers this week, and 6 hours. Mostly really slow running, still some trail running. We'll have to switch that to more road running, and also spend some time on the treadmill to get myself ready, because now it's quite much snow outside as well. And then I'm also happy that I at least got in some strength training to hopefully get myself ready. And in general, I'm just really happy with how I'm feeling to having started training towards a goal again. It's every time I start training towards a goal, it's so clear to me how much that boosts my motivation to do things good when it comes to everything, not just the training, when it comes to eating good, sleeping good, and taking care of myself. So I'm looking forward to continue the training. That does not feel good at all. My left knee is hurting pretty bad today. Honestly, I don't know why, because I thought I was doing the progression really sensible, and yeah, sometimes the body just don't want to cooperate, and let's just hope this quickly goes over with, because I need my knees to be functioning well if I'm going to be able to run a fast marathon in 1.5 months. Yeah, this was a setback. Like, my plan was to stop ramping it up now, but now I need to listen to my body and take it carefully instead. So these last weeks I've been really trying to figure out this knee problem, and done very little running, just some short runs here and there, and it's been quite painful in those runs. So no real progress there, but I've been doing some rehab exercises and some cycling to keep some base fitness, but that's not what I need to get ready for a marathon. I need to run a lot and run on hard surface and get my body strong for that, but I guess I just gotta listen to my body, and yeah, I don't even like filming this. I wanted this to be like a video where I really train good and do a good job and get myself really ready for that marathon. But I guess it's good in a way to share this as well, because this is part of the game. If you are some sort of athlete and want to train, that it many times doesn't go according to plan. And I have to adjust my plan, and I still have hopes to stand on the start line to that marathon. So I didn't think that things could go any worse in my marathon training, but somehow it keeps going worse. Like today, okay, first off, my knee is starting to feel a bit better. I did a short run yesterday that felt better than in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's good. But today, I think I never have had this bad physical feeling in my body. For those who have followed my channel for a while, you know that I've been struggling with like pretty severe migraines, and have this like chronic migraines, and my doctor, where I've been seeking some medical advice, and my doctor has convinced me to try this medication to lower my blood pressure. Even though I don't have a high blood pressure, I have a normal or healthy blood pressure. But for people like me who has this severe chronic migraines, it can help for some people to take that medication, even though you don't have a high blood pressure to begin with. So I thought I just had to try it, because I've been struggling so much with these migraines, and it's been really, really hard to deal with, both in my training and in my everyday life. So I tried that. This is the day 4 that I took those pills that I have. These are the pills. I don't recommend them for anyone that doesn't have a too high blood pressure, because I felt okay the first couple of days, didn't notice that much, but today every time I like just stand up or walk around, I feel like dizzy and I feel completely empty, and it's a long way to run a fast marathon with the feeling I have right now, but I'm just gonna stop this medication and stop taking those pills because that is not working for me at least. And I'd rather have migraines once a week than feeling like I'm feeling right now. It's less than a month until the marathon now, and to be honest, I find it very unlikely that I'm even going to start that race. I don't know. I don't want to start the year by doing something that will destroy my running for the whole year and just hurt my body more than it's already hurting. But at the same time, I want to try, and now my knee feels pretty good today. In general, my body is starting to feel better, so I'm going to try my first real workout on the treadmill here today. That did not feel good in any way, but at least I got a workout done. I did like 40-minute tempo run on a bit faster than 3-hour marathon pace, so nothing fast, and it still didn't feel good. So now it's less than a month until that marathon, and I'm basically at a worse spot than I was a month ago when I was supposed to start training towards this. So I'm debating a lot in my mind if I should just call quits on this marathon and think of the rest of the year and get my body back to working properly. But at least I didn't feel any pain during this workout, and I didn't feel dizzy. I didn't feel like I was going to faint, so yeah, my thinking now is that I will just try to get back to training without overdoing it. I was actually talking to my wife yesterday, and she said like, okay, but yeah, you're struggling with all this pain and issues, but are you actually following your own advice that you preach on YouTube all the time? And the honest answer is that I probably pushed a bit too much, because in my mind I'm still the elite athlete I was 5 years ago, but the training the last 5 years hasn't been that much, and I need to adjust my paces and my progression accordingly to that. So now I will try to keep myself accountable to really don't overdo it. It's better to keep running injury-free and feeling okay than and just accept that I will not be able to do all the really good sessions that I actually had written down in my plan towards this marathon. Yeah, we'll see if I get to the start line and what kind of condition I will be there in. I'm traveling into Oslo today to do some physical testing on myself. Basically a lactate threshold test and a all-out VO2 max test. So it will be pretty painful, but I'm doing this to get some black and white answers to my actual fitness now. And also to discuss with Askild, the master in sports physiology, who's going to do the tests on me, how much of a bad idea it would be for me to run a marathon in a couple of weeks. Although training has been going way better lately, I'm still topping out at 50 kilometers weeks the last 2 weeks, and yeah, that's not enough for a proper marathon training for sure. So I'm very unsure if I'm going to run this marathon or not, or if I'm going to find another marathon, because I'm committed to the finally running a sub 3-hour marathon project, so we'll see what it ends up with. But first, let's see my test, how that goes. Time for some pain.
Really good, really good. 61 again. Really good. Come on, come on, come on. Don't give up. Come on, come on. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm debating in my mind to maybe do a marathon in, what is it, two weeks maybe?
2 weeks?
2 or 3.
Oh man.
And I have not trained for it like properly at all. I run like tops 50k a week, and most on trail, and then some on treadmill back home. But like based on this, do you think I will survive?
You will survive, but barely.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the lack of specificity and running like this, the lack of long runs will make it really tough. But if you didn't knew anything about my training and just saw my values, my threshold value and my VO2 max, what would you say? Okay, what can that guy do on a marathon?
On a marathon, 2:46. Okay. I would say.
So with my lack of training, do you think it would be possible if I try to run at a sub-3 pace to survive?
Yeah. So it's possible. It's just it's not recommended, but it's totally doable. Yeah. But it's like as you also know that if you say the values from the test, then it's much easier to predicate a finish time for maybe a 5K or 10K or a half marathon. But in marathon, you get the extra X factor of your fatigue resistance in the muscles, and that's going to be the limiting factor, and that's going to be the pain and also injury risk.
That's like, as a physiotherapist, I would never recommend doing it, but I somehow tend to do a lot of things that I don't recommend people.
So it's like, how much does YouTube mean for you? Is this marathon for YouTube or for your health?
That's a good question, actually. We'll see. I have some thinking to do. It's been a couple of days since I were in Oslo and did that lactate and VO2 max test and discussed with Askild about my marathon plans. So now it's basically 1.5 weeks until that indoor marathon. And after a lot of thinking, I've decided to not do it. But hang on, I'm still going to run a marathon. What I have decided is that I will travel to Germany in April and run the Hanover Marathon. So it's... Here it's basically 65 days until that event, and I have just put in my entry for that. So it's 65 days. It's still not enough for a proper marathon build-up, but I have a way better starting point now than I did 60 days ago when I started thinking about this indoor marathon, because I've been doing a lot of rehab strength and my knees are starting to feel better, and I had less migraine attacks the last couple of weeks, and my body's starting to cooperate. But I will continue to listen to my body, don't overdo it, do it smart. So I thought a lot about scrapping this whole project of making a video where I document my journey to this marathon that I'm not now even going to run, but hopefully will run that other marathon in Germany. But I think a video like this serves a purpose, because a lot of the things you can find online around running is success stories of people doing amazing times in the marathon and other distance and training going well. And from my experience as a lifelong athlete and as a coach to many athletes, that is oftentimes not the case. We often have to face hurdles, life happens, injuries happens, and sickness and so on. So I hope this video can serve a purpose to show you that even for someone like me that is on YouTube sharing a lot of my success stories when it comes to my ultra running and all of that, a lot of times things are frustrating and things don't go exactly according to plan, and that has for sure been the case for this marathon preparation. But what I also want to show is not giving up. Now I will run this other marathon in Hanover, hopefully, if everything goes okay from here on. I really don't hope this video ends with that I sign up for another marathon 60 days from now. We'll see. I had such high ambitions leading into this training towards Hanover. So I got 1 or 2 weeks with decent training, at least 50 kilometers. But then I got sick, and then I got sick again. And basically had some weeks with almost zero training. Now I at least feel healthy enough to be out running pretty slow here. And as I see it now, it's about a 50% chance if I even will be able to toe that start line in Hanover. But I will do what I can with the little time that is left to see if I can get myself in a good enough shape to don't cause myself a big injury in that race, and maybe have a chance still on a sub 3 hour marathon. I'll do my best at least, but I cannot afford any more setbacks now. So just an easy, slow pace 10 kilometer on the hard road surface today. And this is what I need to train at, because even though I've been sick and so, I know that my base fitness is not that bad. The problem is that my muscular tolerance for running on this hard surface is something you really need to train on, as I said. And as I said, I would do 100 days ago, but as you have seen, it hasn't gone completely according to plan. It felt okay, but honestly it's a bit demoralizing knowing that I'm probably in worse shape right now than I was 100 days ago when I said I was first going to start to train for my first ever marathon. But on the other hand, if I wouldn't have set up a goal to train towards a marathon during this winter, I would probably, or I know I would be in even worse shape, because then all of these setbacks and problems I've had, I would have probably not had the motivation to try to come back all the time. So at least I'm running, and I have 20 days of marathon training. I might actually be able to get myself to that start line. I've been getting in some okay training, still only barely running a marathon distance through the whole week. But now I have put together here, let's see, what I would call a master plan for the last days here. I have so little time to work with, but I gotta try to get in as much relevant stimuli as possible for my body to be able to adapt without doing so much that I will cause myself an injury and a new setback. Then I will not get to the starting line at all. I thought a lot about how I can make it optimal these last 2 weeks, and this is what I have come up with. Today we start off with a marathon specific training with some longer intervals, and then finishing off with some shorter intervals close to my marathon goal pace. And to be able to survive this week, I do it on quite hard surface, but still not road asphalt on this one. I just do it on gravel. Then in 2 days from now, it is the really crucial one where I will try to do a bit of a longer run, almost at half marathon distance, and I will do it progressively, running faster and faster. And for the last half of it, I want to run at that sub 3 hour marathon goal pace. And here I will get the answer of how much of a stupid idea it actually is for me to try to race with my very bad preparation. I'll get some clear answers and hopefully some good adaptations from that one last minute relevant session. And then after these 2 main workouts, it's mainly about not overdoing it the last 10 days, but I'll still try to run some shorter distances at marathon pace on the hard surface to hopefully get my body to adapt a bit more. But now let's hit the gravel road. Today is the day where I'll be doing basically my only real proper specific marathon workout in this horrible marathon training that you have been witnessing in this video. But hopefully this one session will at least help my body to adapt a little bit to the stimuli of this hard surface. I just had like 15 minutes warm up in warm-up shoes, and now I'm putting on my supposed to race shoes in Hanover, the Nike Alpha Flies, and we'll run at marathon pace, and hopefully this session will end up being over 20 kilometers, almost a half marathon. Let's see. 13 kilometers of running now, and the last 10 of those in 3 hour marathon pace. And I'm not feeling super tired, I'm feeling pretty good, but my calf muscles are starting to give in. I can feel how they are slowly getting destroyed by this. 16 kilometers in, and I have to call it quits for this session because my calf muscles are pretty destroyed. This is what you get from not being used to running at a decently fast pace on a hard surface. So that's the bad news, that I didn't go through it, but I think hopefully I quit just in the right time so that my little bit destroyed calves now will be able to recover before the marathon, because our bodies are great at adapting to the kind of stimuli, and when things in our bodies get beaten down, they are supposed to get stronger. So hopefully my calves learned a lesson today. Yeah, let's hope that. Last workout before the marathon with some speed, and I'm just doing 5 kilometers, trying to not overdo it, and we'll just be running at that sub 3 hour marathon pace, or 4:15 per kilometer. Five kilometers at sub 3 hour marathon pace done, and my calves still hurt a bit. They haven't fully recovered. 42.2 kilometers is a long distance, but hopefully there's still some days, so hopefully my calves will build up and get stronger. I'm actually going to run my first ever road marathon, or at least I'm traveling to Hanover with the attempt to do so, and I'm just so scared. But my body's feeling okay, but I know that I haven't trained the way I wanted to do. But I will still attempt a sub 3 hour, and yeah, I'm scared, but hopefully when you see this, I have already ran the marathon and posted the video from that marathon. So if you want to check how it actually turned out for me, you can click this video right here. I will put it. Yeah. Let's hope that's a success story video. We'll see.